Hello, and welcome to Overseas Leafs Report. Hello, and welcome. It's episode 7, lucky number 7. Lots of Leafs news to catch up on and game recaps to deliver to you. We'll have Jason come in and look back at our predictions and also how the Leafs played. It's nice to have a co-host, so I'm not just talking to myself.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. So we're looking back on recent games that the Leafs played versus the Golden Knights. Then they played against the Devils, and then they had a game on the road in Boston. I'll start with the Vegas game. So do you remember your prediction for that one?
Yeah, I think it was pretty close with that one. I think it was 3-1, and it was what? I was 4-1, and it was 3-1 or something.
I should probably pull it up. So it's at 4-1. I think it was 3-1 in the end with the empty netter. Toronto was struggling at home, and then Vegas had like a bad road record. So you're kind of hoping for one to give.
We expected a little bit more for them to dominate Vegas because they're not doing super great. Fleury is obviously a fantastic tender, and they were in the Cup last year, but it's not really translating over this year.
Yeah, I think the Leafs got lucky coming away with the win there. Like they started strong. Like you could tell, like in the first, there was a lot of play in the Vegas zone, and they were doing all right. But I don't think they played their strongest game.
No, definitely not.
Like there was a little bit of excitement last year with Vegas, brand new team. They had like a busy offseason adding like Pacioretty, Stasny, Holden on D.
Kind of hard to cap that last season.
The Leafs scored first, which was nice because that was the second game in a row that they scored first. That was Connor Brown stripping the puck off like their D that wasn't really moving. And then they just kind of stopped playing.
That's a pattern we're seeing. The first period absolutely dominated and then kind of let off and let the other team back into the game.
Anderson was in nets there playing well, but also like Vegas couldn't hit the net. They were just shooting all over the place. You had Marner who scored right away, like to start off the second, and then I'm pretty sure the next 18 minutes it was just Vegas blasting shots all over the place.
A shocking amount still hitting. That's just the way our D is, I guess. We just have to outscore everyone.
They got some timely goals. I think Marner had the best game of all the Leafs.
Yeah, I think Marner's been playing consistently the best. Like he's all over the ice. He's creating most of the opportunities, like amazing passes to Tavares, and in my opinion, the best Leaf by far for the last few games without Matthews there.
Yeah, everything is kind of going through him. Late in the game, Vegas player Holla was kind of skating up the boards. Marleau hit him, just finished his check. Holla, while he was falling down, his knee got caught, and it just bent in all kinds of different directions. And it certainly didn't help that it was Ray Ferraro who was making the commentary, and he's just making these like gross sounds when he's watching the replay, going like ah. So it definitely kind of killed any kind of atmosphere in the building too. Like it was already quiet. Are people excited to go there? Like it's always really, really quiet.
I think it's always been the case in Toronto. Tickets are way too expensive, and like people will rather drive down to Buffalo to watch them play and save hundreds of dollars that way. But I'm thinking that's changing a little bit now, especially since they're a lot better and apparently the Stanley Cup favorites according to Vegas odds.
I was kind of worried though with New Jersey coming in. The pregame was all about like the Hall of Famers, Remembrance Day. So there's just like a bunch of stuff going on. At least half an hour for the game to get started. Typically, Leafs play on Saturday nights at home.
Hockey night in Canada. Yeah.
A weekly thing, But this one, Friday night in Toronto, which is kind of unusual. There's rarely a Friday night game. So I've come up with a little bit of a theory as to why they were playing the Hall of Fame game versus New Jersey on the Friday night. And it has to do with the fact that while they were making the schedule, the GM for the Leafs was still Lou Lamoriello. Lamoriello has history with Brodeur. So they kind of just made the schedule really weird. They were announcing the players at the beginning of the game for New Jersey. It made me realize I couldn't have named 5 New Jersey guys.
Yeah, it's I mean, Hall's the MVP, but like other than that, I don't really know a lot of Devils.
If you had to name 5, do you think you'd be okay? 5 Devils.
No.
No, huh?
No.
I thought New Jersey had played well, but because they started overseas and they're still catching up on games, like they're currently last in the Eastern Conference. Like Schneider's injured, So they came again with Kincaid in this one.
I do think New Jersey's a good team and they have the potential. Their record doesn't show that. So to put Anderson in on the Friday instead of the Saturday, to me, I think might have swung that game. Like, I don't think it was a very good coaching decision, and I think I just don't understand why that you do that.
After seeing the Leafs build up such a big lead, pucks flying in, like Riley scored a goal from the blue line, and then had to go. He went and apologized to Kincaid afterwards, being like, "I didn't mean to embarrass you." That just kind of floated in.
I mean, Kincaid is playing well. Like, he's playing well.
When he's not giving up 6, he's playing well. Yeah. At that point, they went like, "Oh, maybe we should have given Anderson a break in this one."
Yeah, you look at Anderson's numbers. He's facing 40 shots. He's stolen, and then that's when we might have been able to steal. And would we be able to beat the Devils without stellar goaltending? Well, in hindsight, it's easy to say, but like,
yeah, they still got the 6-1 victory, and like as soon as the buzzer went, Kincaid was just he just rushed off. He did not want to be there. Just couldn't wait to leave.
I felt that was pretty bad too. Like, you should have pulled him after probably at least the 5th goal, like, or the 4th.
On the plane to Boston, it's not a long flight, and then so there's obviously no practice, no morning skate, I don't think. So they go straight into the game. Boston's got a new anthem singer.
It's hockey night in Canada on a Saturday, and you're gonna play your backup. Like, it's just like the eyes are on you anyway on Saturday. So like, I almost feel it was like unfair to Sparks to be like, all right, go in now.
Thought, the Leafs had good momentum going into the game. Obviously, the rivalry with Boston's important, and they came out strong. Like that first period, it was all Leafs, like 20 shots on net. I got worried that when you saw the Leafs not get their goals in the first, after putting so much pressure and everything, coming out, especially on the road after the back-to-back, you think, oh man, maybe they just like spent all their energy, used everything they had, and then the rest of the game, they kind of had nothing left.
How many penalties did they take? I think Boston scored 2 power play goals.
There was a bad penalty that Marincin took, which is where Pasternak got a second goal of the period. That big Boston line kind of was unstoppable. What really started the downward spiral is that Kapanen took a penalty, a high-sticking penalty, but it cut the guy. It's a double minor. And then at that point, it's just, all right, Boston, here's your game. Keep adding. Pasternak gets the hat trick. And then they start playing their third and fourth liners. Guy throws a muffin. That goes in. And that was where, like, it wasn't a good look for Sparks.
They left him in too. That's the other thing. Yeah. It's like don't shatter the guy's confidence that badly.
Sparks is out here saying like, oh, it's the hardest shot I've ever faced, and like, oh man, I don't know how you would stop those guys. And I thought, like, you got to keep it together a little bit. That was their first loss on the road, so any kind of unbeaten streak on the road is over. And now they're heading out to California for 3 games.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the schedule now. It's LA first, and then San Jose, Anaheim.
Yeah.
Cali.
Now have a look at Jason's picks for the upcoming games in California. It's a good time to like and share the video, hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, and keep an eye on updates that will be coming during the week on Twitter.